It's the Andy and Dave Daily right here on the Muskegon Channel. I'm Andy O'Reilly. There's Dave Cackley after a day off. I woke up at 7:20 yesterday, and I thought to myself, there is just no way in hell I want to do anything with today. I'm going back to bed.
Okay. You know what? When you're the boss man, when you're the owner of the company, when
You can do
you're
that.
head honcho, uh, the chief, you can make that decision.
I did.
Us underlings, we can prepare a newscast and be all ready to go. Oh, Andy doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
There
All
you go.
three
All right.
stories you scribbled and tried to put into your own words.
Mhm.
I'm sure that really made you break a sweat, and for that,
Well,
I'm
I'm
sorry. But
regurgitating. I'm regurgitating one of the ones that I was going to do yesterday
yeah.
anyway. So
Well, I
it's all
figured
good.
you would because that one's good,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that I will have something to add to that. But
No
as I was
problem.
pouring some coffee before we came on, we got to I've been trying new coffees.
Hmm.
Um, the last couple of
Why?
bags, well, I Folgers just kept giving me a really taste in my mouth all day long.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm like, well, let's try some different things. So we tried some Starbucks, and that was okay. Tried some Caribou coffee, didn't mind that. Tried McDonald's breakfast blend, that was good. Um,
Hmm.
this is Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and it's the dark blend of Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and it's no good. It's not. So
Uh,
we're back to trying to find something new. But it reminded me,
mhm.
um, a week or so ago, I went to meet a friend at a coffee shop and to discuss some things. That's what we do. Um, and I'm standing there at the coffee shop, and I'm looking down at the handful of grab and go treats that they have at the coffee shop, pay counter.
Mhm.
And right to my left looks like a pile of magic cookie bars. The ones that are made with coconut and chocolate chips and a layer of butterscotch and a
Yeah.
layer of, oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh. And I thought, what better time for a fat guy to grab a couple of magic cookie bars and no one's the wiser, right?
Mhm. How many
So
did
I,
you grab?
I grabbed two and
How
I
big are
throw
these cookie bars?
well, they're, cookie bar size. They're not
Okay.
giant. It's not like
Yeah.
those
Okay.
giant
That,
Rice Krispie treats the size of your head.
okay.
But as I'm putting them up there, the lady at the counter benevolently and kindly says, those are made of figs. They were fig bars. I'm not eating a fig bar.
Okay. What's your why? Just curious. I'm not a fig guy. Like I don't like
I
fig
will eat
Newtons,
an
but
occasional fig Newton
I'm
because,
not a fan.
yeah, me neither, really. But once in a while, it's like, all right, I'll eat a fig. I'll eat a fig Newton thing, and that's good. But to think that I'm eating an entire fig bar with no,
Yeah.
nope, 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 nope. So I really thanked her for her guidance upon my snacking options there, and avoided eating a big thing of dates.
Okay. Yeah. Because dates they're just do I think of all the things we don't need. Do we need dates?
Well, I will say
Are they
this:
are they unnecessary?
in
What
other
I don't know if
cultures,
they.
getting a date is equivalent of getting a piece of candy. To
Okay.
them, that's as sweet as it gets. To me,
Mhm. Yeah.
it looks like a dried out turd. It
You know why? Because
why?
we're part of a superior culture
No,
that
I disagree
understands
on
dates for the pieces
superiority.
of shit that they are.
I
It
disagree
is.
on superiority, but it's
Yeah.
just not that
Sorry.
popular of a food item here.
Yes.
So
It's for the lessers.
I doubt that. No, I think they're in better health than we are.
Oh, most countries are in better health than we are, but just
So there you
as
go.
a snack, as a snack, it's a less than.
Right.
It's okay. People can,
If I
again,
were
we
to
can
go to
we
the
can all
land of
disagree. And I
people that eat figs and say, "Hey,
Yeah,
look here,
you would fit in.
I've got a box of Snickers bars," I bet you they
Hmm.
quit eating dates in a big hurry. But
Probably
yeah,
again, what? But could their systems handle it though? That's the thing. We forget about these things. Like when people aren't used to like we subsist on poison here.
yeah,
The fast food industry is never. I mean, like McDonald's is never going away.
no,
It's never going away.
never.
We subsist on it. In our cyst, like we can handle, we have adapted to the poison. That's why, we're still kicking around. We should have died off as a society probably long ago, but our systems just adapted,
Yeah,
and we can get in worse physical shape and more disgusting, but we have adapted to that. So we're just
I'm
all
just
we're just all shuffling around. All of us, most of us, are going to be on motorized carts in the next decade. But
next
it's okay.
decade.
That's is just maybe less than. Yeah. Okay.
Mine's on the Amazon truck right now,
I was gonna say. I
dude.
keep waiting for that.
A
I
few
keep
minutes
waiting to
ago,
hear you just coming up.
a few minutes, a few minutes ago, I had to walk all the way over there to the light switch to turn the overhead lights off.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Did you take a nap in
intolerable.
between?
Oh, I thought
And it goes,
about it.
wait, I gotta rest. This is just too much.
Oh, I'm killing myself. Mm.
Hmm.
Anyway, well, Monday off was great. I slept until about 10:30, and it
Good
was
for
much
you.
needed. Yes,
All right.
thank you. All right, news.
Let's get into it. Well, we can't gloss over this story. Former First Lady Rosalind Carter has passed away. The other half of the longest presidential marriage in U.S. history was diagnosed with dementia back in May. The longtime mental health advocate died peacefully in her sleep. She was 96. What was the ding for?
Rosalind Carter.
Well, no. Here's the thing. I thought that too. It's been Rosalind my whole life. And then I looked it up and I saw two different, like, because everybody is calling her Rosalind. And it seems like it's the younger people, it's the young, and I don't know. You might be right to ding me, and I thought that's what you were dinging me for,
Right.
because I kept saying Rosalind, and then I kept hearing it Rosalind, and then I heard, then I did
Well,
a
younger
little more
people
research,
are
and it was like,
stupid, and we know that.
yes,
Okay,
agreed,
so let's
they are
just go with
dumb,
what
but
we
I
know.
don't know.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah, let's just go with what we know and go with Rosalind.
This is what
It,
drives me. It's like, yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
I think you're right. I think you're right. It
Okay.
is Rosalind, and I'm glad that you. And let's just go with Rosalind, even though everybody's pronouncing it wrong. Every newscast I heard, it was Rosalind, and I'm like, my whole life it was Rosalind,
All right.
and it's just now after she died. Now, shouldn't we know? I mean, I know she wasn't the president; she was the first lady, but she did some good things, especially after they got out of office and everything. Shouldn't we know how to pronounce her name? Shouldn't there be a consensus as
There
to
is.
what was? Yeah, I feel like it was, but then I heard it was never pronounced. It was never supposed to be
Well,
pronounced. I don't know.
who cares? But here's
I'm
the
confused.
important thing about her.
Go ahead.
Jimmy Carter was actually supposed to die before her, and how he's
Mhm.
hung on is really something to say. He's in hospice care too. He's
Yeah.
I mean, months ago, they
Mhm.
thought it was over for Jimmy Carter. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there, and good for them.
When
They
did
led
Billy?
an incredible life post White House. They did
Yeah.
amazing things, and he may not have been the most flashy or standout president that we ever had, but
Oh, he was terrible as a president. Post president, he was great.
he
The humanitarian stuff was
he
great.
does get credit for ending the hostage crisis. It
Well,
right up if you
I
watch
will give you yes.
if you watch the documentaries,
Mhm.
right up to
Mhm.
the minute he left for the inauguration,
He was
he was
working
on the
on it.
phone
Yes.
finishing that deal.
Yes.
All right, so
Here,
go ahead.
what I was going to say is the interesting thing about this is how much the Russians hated Carter, or not Russians, the Iranians. The
Yeah.
Iranians hated Carter. Russians probably didn't like him either, but Iranians they were not going to release the hostages until he was out.
Nope.
They were not going to do it.
But
It
he
was
got the
we
deal
are
done.
not. Yeah, he did. And then, in fairness to him, he did. Now, again, it was a bad for that was one of the, and part of it was he was honest about where we were. the State of the Union was, when he said the State of the Union was like he was almost moronically honest in that moment, because it actually did make things worse.
Yeah.
His honest assessment of where we were. A lot of it was part of his issue. And I know we were talking about Rosalind Carter, but part of his issue was he was too hands-on with everything.
Yeah.
He was the most involved. And when you're in that position, and I think he probably went he was involved in it too much. He didn't delegate. It was his way or the highway, and it just wasn't going to fly. And it ended up being it was a disastrous 4 years.
It wasn't
but again, once he got out, the stuff he did after, absolutely laudable.
So
100%. And Rosalind was right alongside. And again, the mental health stuff, her advocacy for that was great.
Now, we also missed another death over the last few days. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I'm not 100% sure who.
Ken Squire passed away.
I know the name.
Ken Squire was the voice of NASCAR, and he was the
one. Oh, yes.
He was the one that brought that Daytona 500 to life, that turned NASCAR on to the entire country.
I remember that was 79.
Yep.
Was it 79 where it was that Richard Petty wins it after
and the brothers got in a fight.
Bobby Allison and Yarborough crash on the last lap.
It was,
people forget about that.
Yeah. But Ken Squire, not only was he an incredible race announcer, he was remarkable in the movies he got pulled into. He was the way he could paint a picture of what was going on a racetrack was second to none. Amazing.
Great voice. I love, and we lose, you lose guys like a Vin Scully or that.
Ernie Harwell.
Ernie Harwell was that for a lot of Tiger fans and stuff. So yeah, it's there's something about that where it's not a fake emotion. It wasn't put on. It was really, it was, because some people do it like Joe Buck gets shit a lot for this, and I like Joe Buck.
I do too.
But not rising to the moment as far as inflections,
right,
or whatever. Sometimes and there are some that go with a kind of a less is more, just kind of a more dry delivery. But yeah, he had a great voice. And I remember that turned me into, when I was a kid, I loved NASCAR as a kid because of him and because of that particular race when I was like 7 years old. So he will be missed as well. Well, thanks for noting that. That's cool. Moving on, the most sought after bottle of Scotch whiskey in the world was sold at auction over the weekend. The 1926 bottle of Macallan Adami was one of just 40 bottles that were bottled back in 1986 after being aged in sherry casks for 60 years. Sold at Sotheby's in London, England for, how much do you think it was worth? Bottle of Scotch.
$900.
$2.7 million. 2.2 million pounds. Because the British do things weird. But man, I got to assume that's some smooth whiskey. I got to assume would a whiskey like that have any bite to it at all, or would it just go down like water?
Well, better, it's whiskey.
I'm not sure.
You want it to taste like whiskey, don't you?
Yeah, but you would think, yes. But I was smelling like I would love to have a taste of a 2 point. Would I have a discerning enough palate? Probably not.
No.
To figure out, okay, do I know the difference between that and just my regular, Jameson on the rocks?
Let me explain something to you about you. Your discerning palate is between ketchup and mustard.
Don't forget
as
ranch.
Discerning as it gets. So
that's not necessarily wrong. Not necessarily.
Again, your discerning palate is between Kraft mac and cheese and Velveeta shells.
I don't like them. Gross.
Okay.
Gross. I would never eat either of those.
Yes,
That's disgusting.
would.
Mac and cheese is gross.
Whatever.
sorry, it's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And no, it's not a Thanksgiving side dish. It shouldn't be.
Oh, it was
Gross.
here.
Well, that's wrong.
Okay.
But anyway, hospitals in the state of Michigan facing a nursing shortage of about 62,000 registered nursing jobs statewide. Around 8,500 still vacant. 42% of polled nurses claim they know of a patient death due to unsafe staffing levels in hospitals. I've always had this nursing, and I've dated nurses. I've had nurses for roommates. They're a lot of fun. They bust their ass. They've got great. It's a great schedule. It's long, but it's like it's long and short at the same time because they work like 11, 12-hour shifts, but it's like 3 days. Some it's 4 days. So you get that long, they get these long breaks because you need them in that profession. And again, it's a noble cause. Like it just is, but the stress level's a lot. So they really need to unwind and have fun when they're not nursing. So I gotta figure if you're married to a nurse, like your mom was a nurse,
Yeah.
it's got to be a lot to deal with as a partner of a nurse. Like if you're like your dad had to like your
My
dad
mom worked in a
delivering
zit clinic
Okay.
with dermatologists. So I can't
so
imagine,
different.
I
A
can't
different
imagine that was
stress level.
the.
Here I am talking about the nobility of the profession your mom retired from, and you
Right.
go, yeah, she just popped zits for a living. It wasn't much. You just shit on your mom's entire professional
Oh, she
career.
had some bad days. I remember.
Okay,
Well,
yeah.
actually,
Good,
one of the days
good save.
with some skin cancer, they had to amputate a guy's twig and giggleberries. I remember
Oh
that was a
man,
pretty hard day for her. Yeah.
I can imagine
So, but
that's.
on the other side of the coin, here's the real bad news.
Mm-hmm.
Nursing is low right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're struggling to find employees. We're struggling to find people interested in the field. There is a 4-year deficit in people trying to get into this field. So if you think it's
Mm-hmm.
bad now, it's only
It's
going
gonna
to
get
get
worse.
worse.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not exclusive to Muskegon. This
No,
is not our problem
mm-hmm.
only. And
Right.
the level of vitriol that's thrown at Trinity Health here in town is absolutely embarrassing because nobody knows different and nobody pays attention
Mm-hmm.
to anything other than I had to sit in the ER for 2 hours
Mm-hmm.
before I got seen.
Right. Yep.
Um,
And that's
the medical field across the country is shot in the ass, and it's going to be a couple of years until it gets.
this is gonna be more than a couple of years.
I know, but I'm here to tell you what, and I'm telling you this, me speaking more to Muskegon than I am you.
Mm-hmm.
If you want better medicine here, it's going to start with you stopping complaining, pissing and moaning, and throwing piles of shit at Trinity Health every chance you get, because let's pretend Dave is a brand new graduate doctor. Okay? You got your diploma, you got your hat, you're a newly graduated physician. You're shopping around the country for a great place to go to work. If you looked at the social media put on Trinity Health in Muskegon, would you take a job here, or would you take a job in, say, Minneapolis or Denver or any one of these new young? Good. It's time for people around here to shut up and quit pissing and moaning about it, because it ain't gonna get better.
Yeah, attitude is an issue. Also, here's the other thing, and I've been throwing this out to people for years. I've been trying to do this. I have good days and I have better days and I have worse days. You got to be proactive about your health.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't wait for shit. You gotta make lifestyle changes. You got to do things you don't want to do. You got to become more active. And fewer patients is what hospitals should be looking at. They don't want that. They want you to come in, but take care of yourself, and then you don't have to worry about sitting in the ER.
There you have it.
I mean, it may happen. It's going to happen to all. I mean, we're eventually going to need it.
Yep.
But try and lessen that likelihood.
Thank you.
Sports, Eagles beat KC 21-17. Monday Night Football, Eagles now 9-1. NFC and the NFL's best record. The Lions 8-2 after that huge comeback win over the Bears on Sunday. Lions still think the Eagles still have a much tougher road for that number one seed. The Lions, though, right nipping on their heels. Big game coming up, Thanksgiving against the Packers. Lions at 8-2, first time they've been 8-2 since 1962. So this predates you, me. Good Lord, what a season! Finally, a great Thanksgiving.
I'm gonna go buy
for
some
Lion
pom-pom.
fans. You can go crap on.
What? I'm
like
not
you
crapping.
crapped
Go
on your
buy
mom's
pom-poms.
nursing
What more do you want?
profession. Because everybody can notices your tone.
No,
you're
they
yawning during that story.
Why yawn?
You're
I'm
watching
tired.
it. Oh God, you're talking about Pistons suck. They lost 107-103. They're 2-13. Red Wings are mediocre. The Tigers just came off another shitty season. You finally have some hope in D-Town and across the state for your sports fandom. Latch on. Andy, I'm imploring you as somebody who doesn't give a shit. Latch on to this. Enjoy the ride these fans are on because it's awesome. And I'm not a Detroit Lion fan. I'm a Cowboy fan.
Dude, I'm happy for
but
him.
I'm
What
loving
more do you want?
this. You're not though. You really
Oh,
are.
I am
You shit on it. Did you watch AFV? No, I was watching the Lions. Did you watch AFV? No.
I did watch AFV.
Okay,
it was
you
a rerun.
did. Yes, that's
but
the
it was one where
yeah.
that little girl had the pumpkin pie, and she was so cute. She was like, "Oh, pumpkin
great.
pie!"
That's
And she was putting it on her face. She won the 20 million.
Oh, fantastic.
Right. Art and artists.
Testosterone. I can literally hear your testosterone levels dropping. Just
Can you
saying
really?
that.
Wow.
Good.
Art
Yeah,
and artists.
Ooh, this could be
It could
tough
be Art
for me now.
Garfunkel. It could be Art Van.
Ooh, I wasn't even going. Art Van, yes.
See, there's all kinds of things.
Art Donovan, Art Linkletter.
Art Linkletter. Okay. The pensive pose of the figure in this Rodin sculpture, originally called the Poet, earned it this name. Oh, and by the way, you're at $48,000 in the hole.
How much is
this?
This
could put you at $48,600 in the hole.
I have no idea. I have no idea what the thing. Art and art. See, I'm thinking art. Okay, I should. Yeah.
Yep.
I was thinking it was going to be art. You threw me with that. It could be Art Garfunkel. It could be Art.
Here's what
Artie
we'll do.
Artson.
Could
be Artie Lang.
In the next week, I'm going to give you the option to use the
Phone a friend.
No, it was in Maverick.
Lifeline.
My mind wasn't on the game. Remember?
No, my mind wasn't on the game. I forgot. Yeah. Did James Garner say that or Mel Gibson?
No, it was the kid that played the gunslinger.
I forget who that was. I haven't seen Maverick since like the 90s.
Maverick's a great movie. You should go watch it.
It was a great. I loved it.
Oh, and you know what's another great movie?
Yeah.
You should watch Platypus Guardian. Great documentary about platypus. Very fun.
Okay.
All right, watch that.
Okay.
All right.
Platypi, is that the plural?
No, platypus.
But what's the plural?
I don't know.
Platypussy?
I didn't go that far.
Okay.
Hey, guess what? Here comes the weather kid.
Welcome back, Muskegon. It will be a pretty nasty day today with a cold rain, especially during the morning hours, so let's take a look at your forecast brought to you by Trinity Health. Like I said, today will be pretty nasty with a cold rain during the morning hours, especially during the afternoon will start to break up. But thankfully, travel looks good for both Wednesday and Thanksgiving itself until a colder air will push in on Friday, but we're not expecting any snow showers out of that. So the future radar shows by 7 a.m. widespread moderate to maybe even heavy rain will be falling across West Michigan. Some places north of Muskegon could actually see a mix of rain and snow, if not freezing rain. So thankfully, We won't see any of that here in Muskegon, but it will be a pretty cold day with highs around 40. And then by 1 p.m., the heaviest of the rain will be pushing off to the east. We'll just be left with some scattered lighter rain going into the afternoon hours. This system will bring a decent amount of rain though with it, with accumulations likely between half an inch to an inch of rainfall. The heaviest of the rain should fall over Lake Michigan down through Chicago. Temperature-wise today, it will be a pretty cold one, and unfortunately with the rain, it will just be a nasty day out with a breezy wind here and there as well. So highs should end up right around 40 degrees throughout Muskegon County. So for your Tuesday, expect a high of 41 with rain showers, especially in the morning hours, as it will break up a little bit during the afternoon. Then by the overnight hours, we'll start to break up the clouds a little bit, but stay mostly cloudy with a low of 34 as the winds pivot more to the north. Thankfully, after that, it looks pretty nice, at least for this time of year, with dry conditions as well going into the holiday. And then by Friday, a cold front will move through, bringing down temperatures into the mid-30s, and we'll stay in the 30s for the rest of the weekend. And then it looks like a very small chance of possibly some snow for Sunday, but as of now, I'm keeping the forecast dry. And that's your Tuesday forecast, brought to you by Trinity Health on the Muskegon Channel. And I'm Cole Woods Weather, and stay warm out there.